Hi, this is Mike Peterson from Challenge Island, Oakland County East, back with another one of our Steamtastic Fridays. Today we're wrapping up our RC Rules remote control series, and we're going to talk about the M, or the math, and how that plays into some remote control devices. And I've got my friend here, my robot here, to demonstrate a couple of these things for us. Today we're going to talk about a pretty cool math concept called gear ratios, which actually engineers use a lot in things like cars and all kinds of machinery. So what gears are, you've probably seen gears. So that's when you have like kind of like a wheel with teeth on it. So here's a simple picture of one. So it could have a few teeth, it could have a lot of teeth. But when we combine gears together, we can use some math to make it do some pretty cool things. So for example, when we do a remote control robot, these run off of electric motors. So that kind of motor is pretty small and it spins really fast. So when you turn it on, it spins really fast and that's nice. But sometimes you don't want something that spins really fast. Maybe you want something that moves back and forth, or you want something that has enough power to go up a hill or do some job like that. So to do that, that's where the gears come in. So what we'll do is we'll take a gear, put it onto that fast electric motor that's spinning around. So maybe that's this one. Then if we want to turn something a little slower, maybe like the wheels of the car, then we would put a bigger gear next to it. So what happens when we do that, for example, here, my small gear has 10 teeth in it. My big gear has 20 teeth in it. So each time this one turns 10 teeth worth, this one only goes halfway around. So in other words, say I spin this one 100 times a minute. So that's what RPM stands for, revolutions per minute. My big gear over here is only going to turn at 50 revolutions per minute. So that way I can get to slow down a little bit. The other thing that happens is pretty cool when I do that is the power goes up. So that's called torque. So that's the amount of force that those gears have to be able to do some work. So again, when that electric motor is spinning super fast, it doesn't have a lot of torque or a lot of power to do that. But if I hook it up to some other gears, so I could put one gear or even 2 or 3 gears onto here, that'll help me get more power or more torque into what I have spinning around. And then that'll give me the energy I need to move it up a hill or grab something, do things like that. So for example here, so if my torque from my motor, say it was 20 Newton meters is one way to measure that. Then when I measure the torque on the bigger gear, it's going to get double. So since there's twice as many teeth here, so I'd go from 20 to 40 if I did that. And then just to make it even trickier, if I needed it to multiply even more than that, I could just combine 2 or 3 gears together. So maybe say if this was my electric motor turning, maybe I spin a big gear off of that, then I attach a small gear in the middle of it, use that to turn another big gear, and then I can make it multiply even more. So for example here, speed-wise, say my motor was spinning 1,000 times a second, I can get that to slow all the way down to 40 or 1,000 times a minute. I can get that to slow down to 40 times a minute. So it gets a lot slower, but the power gets way better. So I can go from say it was 1 Newton meter to start, I can get it all the way up to 25. So I have 25 times as much power. So gears really come in handy. So for example, if you could look inside my robot, and in particular my gripper section here, what you would see is what we call a gearbox. That's kind of a collection of a lot of different gears. So if you take a look at the picture on the screen there, you'll see two silver and white pieces. Those are the motors. So those spin, and then those turn all the gears inside my gearbox to help me get things down to the speed and the torque, or the speed and the power that I need. So for example, if those motors turn, that's not going to be enough power to really grip anything. But once I get it through all those gears, then I can do something cool like this. So I could maybe say I took this mini car that I have. Let's say I wanted to grip it with my robot. So as I move the grippers, see now they move really slow. That's a lot slower than that electric motor turns. So, and then if I try gripping my car with it, yeah, you can hear that power there. It's grabbing it. I don't have to worry about that car going anywhere because I have enough torque on that to hold it in place. So if you'd like to experiment with some gears at home, maybe you've got some gears for toys at home, or gears in a Lego box or a Connects box or something like that, try putting some different gears together and see if you can experiment with the math and those gear ratios. See if you can change the speed and the power as you spin those gears around. All right, with that, thank you very much for joining us this week, and we'll see you next time.